Hey everyone, my name is Joe. I'm based out in Hoboken, New Jersey. I'm 28 years old and wanted to chat through my experience working with Duane and the Spark Healthy Runner team through their coaching program. I started this program at the end of June. I have had this constant knee pain in the backside of my left knee that would always seem to come back any time I would get into running. I don't consider myself a runner. I've always tried to get into it, but I have had knee dysplasia, a torn MCL on the left knee, and it always felt like that was the big hindrance for me ever becoming a real runner. So I'd always run for a month, then it would come back, and then I would have to stop running completely. And I always thought that the answer was to, stop running when you felt pain and then go to physical therapy and then get back into running. But by that time I had lost my motivation because I wasn't a runner. And then I would end up, just going back to lifting in the gym and not chasing that goal of running, a certain distance or a race in any time. But I always felt like I was in the best shape when I was into running. So it was always a weird balance between, do I want to get injured again, or do I want to be safe and just stick with lifting or find other ways to do cardio? I kind of one day was like, let me do some research and see if there's, some talks around, possibly working with an injury when you're running, it's not necessarily needing to stop. And, luckily found the Spark Healthy Runner podcast on Spotify. And it was an interview that Duane had actually on a different podcast, speaking through running with an injury or running while injured and how it is possible to continue to run with an injury, within certain parameters. And it really connected with what I was, seeking. And it was really motivating to hear that, it is possible. So, throughout that episode, I discovered that there was a one-on-one coaching program, and I decided to, take the jump and just schedule a call with Duane and see if it was a fit. My fiance is a physical therapist, so knowing that he was a physical therapist plus a run coach really made the decision easy for me. I spoke with Duane. He was extremely knowledgeable, was very aware of the pain that I was experiencing and the situation I was in, and made me, understand that I wasn't alone. And it's very common for people to think how I thought, when it came to running with an injury and the idea of having to stop every time you felt some sort of pain. Not only did the one-on-one coaching program teach me to understand that it's okay to feel, some pain as long as you take the steps to become pain-free. It also taught me just how to become a true runner and how to, fall in love with the idea of being a healthy runner. So after the coaching call, it was, Duane can attest to it, it was almost an immediate yes. I felt the connection right away that, this was something I needed to do. I had already signed up for the Marine Corps Marathon at the end of October, and it was time to, take that leap and invest in a true, educational and motivational running experience. And that's what I got out of the Spark Healthy Runner, coaching program. Immediately, Duane got on a call when we first started, and he analyzed my running ability, my fitness level, not just when it came to running. We were doing all these different types of exercises on our first call, and he was just, watching and analyzing as he went. Pretty impressive considering that it was all virtual. And if anyone's concerned that it is virtual and they're wondering, if that's going to be an issue, it absolutely is not. It is super easy. He is very, very much an expert and can, break down your movements and your running over Zoom or over a video. And he immediately started to see some of the things I was doing wrong. And honestly, I would never have known that I was doing wrong when it came to pacing, when it came to prepping, fueling, stretching, strength training. There were so many things that I just wasn't aware of, and no one really can be aware of unless you talk with folks that are like Duane, that have the knowledge and experience both medically, and from a physical therapy perspective, but then also just from an experienced runner. And that's what Duane provides is, the scientific, the medical proof that, what we do is for a reason, and why he has certain, parts of his program that are unique are, there for a reason, which I really enjoyed. I was pain-free probably 3 weeks in. So it was really, really motivating to already notice that the pain was completely gone by just making some minor adjustments. But then as I got into the heat of marathon training, that's where Duane's knowledge and expertise really came into play, because it wasn't just my knee. Once that came away, like, other things started to pop up, and it was never, because that pain went away so fast, it was never a cause for major concern, because Duane was extremely responsive. He understood that, if the pain was within certain parameters, it was something we can overcome, and we always did. And throughout my training cycle, he was always there motivating. He was commenting on all of my runs, especially my long runs, making sure that he knew that I knew that he was there rooting me on, like cheering me on, and making sure that he was analyzing everything that I did to ensure that I was being safe, I was doing the right things. And if there was something that he noticed, he would always comment, and it was always positive. It was always just constructive criticism, always motivating, and always, easy to understand, which sometimes the running lingo can be difficult to understand, and it never was that way. I proudly can say that I've completed my first marathon this past weekend. I was completely pain-free going in, and I felt very strong from an injury perspective. There was, by the end of the marathon, the only reason why I was in sort of pain was just from running the marathon. I was sore, but there was no nagging pain or anything. It's been a few days since I've completed the Marine Corps Marathon, and I can honestly say that I am pain-free and proud to be pain-free thanks to Duane and the Spark Healthy Runner program. I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for him. I have hopefully a long and steady running career ahead of me, and I am so glad that I made this investment, because now I know the ins and outs. I have the relationship with Duane and the coaching team, and I look forward to continuing that relationship, because I think that it's really important to invest in your health. And if you're passionate about something, which I believe running has become my passion very, very quickly, you want to make sure you're investing your time, you're investing financially, just to make sure that you're happy, healthy, and not second guessing yourself when it comes to running, and when it comes to your everyday activity like running. So if you're on the fence, if you're considering it, if you're not considering it, definitely do it. You learn a lot. You really get opened into a world that you would probably never even think about. And there's a lot of conflicting information online that Duane is able to provide answers to, and provide clarity on, and have the helpful support to back it up. So I know I've been speaking for a long time, but there's just a lot of great things to say. Duane, thank you so much. Spark Healthy Runner coaching program was absolutely 10 out of 10, worth the time. And yeah, hope to see future successes from all his runners and his athletes. And I'm proud to say that I'm one of those athletes that has had an incredible experience, as I'm sure everyone else has. So thanks everyone. Have a great day.